Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Mainstream Mondays on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got my awesome co-host here. How you doing, John Ward?
Me? You're talking to me? I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
You took a second there. You're just like, me? Wait,
Well,
I'm
I
shocked.
just flew into town. My arms are tired.
All right, well, hey, stop flying, maybe take an airplane, or whatever. But anyway, so we're gonna be talking about Urban Legends Bloody Mary, the
Part
third
three.
and final. It was the nail in the coffin for the Urban Legends series. However, I mean, who knows? They may bring them back someday. It's Sony. They may go, well, what do we have in our
Well,
thing?
the TV version of I Know What You Did Last Summer did so well that it got canceled. Let's try this one.
I mean, would it make a good TV show? I don't know. I don't think so, because I think it'd be
Well,
good.
you're going to run out of urban legends. I mean,
Right.
you would have to do just like a Bloody Mary thing, just throughout the whole season, and then go to another one, or maybe just have one or two in there.
But Bloody Mary. Okay, so I was thinking it was just Bloody Mary, like that. It was just going to be her killing everybody or something in the town. So I didn't look
That would
into
make
it.
sense.
Right? Because why not? It's called Urban Legends Bloody Mary. I thought like the whole movie would be about calling Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror, and then Bloody Mary starts killing everybody. But it's a little bit more than that. I was kind of
Well,
happy about that.
and if you notice, she doesn't say Bloody Mary 3 times in a mirror. She says it to the ceiling.
No, yeah, that's true.
She's with her friends at the slumber party, and they like go to sleep, I guess, and she looks up at the ceiling and says Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah. So
And that's how Bloody Mary comes around. And my question is this the Bloody Mary? Like, is this where the urban legend comes from? Was from this girl in a trunk?
No, not in real life. Not in real life. The real urban legend is Mary Worth, who was.
Oh no! I'm sorry, not like in the movie. Like, is this supposed to be the Bloody Mary in the movie?
No, I don't think so.
Because it doesn't make sense if you're supposed. Why would you say Bloody Mary 3 times into a mirror if she was killed and put into a footlocker?
Right.
Wouldn't you then say it 3 times into a footlocker?
Well, no, because the real Bloody Mary wasn't killed through a mirror, right? So Bloody Mary Worth, I believe, was just killed or something, and her ghost haunts mirrors. Like it's like Candyman. Candyman wasn't killed in a mirror. Like right.
I think they in one of the sequels they do hold a mirror up to him. Yeah, they do. I think it's in part 2. Is when they hold, it could be part 3, but they hold like an old-fashioned mirror up to him. I just watched them all. And to show him what he looks like as they're like mangling his body. And they're like, and so that could be the reason why he's in a mirror. To me, this just doesn't, like, if this is supposed to be the Bloody Mary, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I guess she wouldn't have to look in a mirror. She could just say it to the ceiling.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I thought there was a mirror on the ceiling or something, but we never see that. We never even see the ceiling.
No, it's like a living room.
Right. But like, yeah, it didn't make any sense for them saying Bloody Mary 3 times and then she shows up, but then you never, like, okay, she shows up random, like, and then disappears, and then it's the brother that comes in and kind of harasses
the creepy
girls.
Brother, yeah.
Man, okay, I had so many problems with this movie because editing on the. Okay, so in the beginning of the movie, I was like really confused to a couple things. I was getting annoyed, okay, in the beginning of the movie because the editing was so weird that like it starts out and then it's nighttime, and then the next morning comes. There's no like fade into the next morning. So then it's next morning, and apparently the son is talking to the mother. They have a weird conversation together, and she's like, "Go check up on the girls," and he's like, "The girls aren't there." I'm like, "The girls are in a room." I'm like, "The girls are in a room that's right next to the kitchen. Like he can literally look over and see." but
well, yeah, but that's when the script told her to. So that's what she had to look, because you would think when she woke up, got dressed, came downstairs, you'd want to check to make sure the girls are okay. And she'd poke her head in. And I guess she, being a bad mother, didn't, and just went straight to the kitchen to make herself coffee or something, and then relied on her son to go look.
Yeah. And the son was like, well, they're not here. And then they like basically wanted him, like they called the cops and put in a thing. And okay, I don't know what it was like in 2003 or 4 or whenever this was made. I want to say 4. I don't know what it was like then, but nowadays you need 48 hours before you can file a missing persons report.
He did say that. The sheriff did say that. He said it twice.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, there's not much I could do. He's like, he might have said 24 hours, but I know that he gave a time frame of that.
Okay, so then
that none of that made sense, because they're gone, but we get no flashback. We get nothing to the college guys. Oh, I'm sorry, the teenagers on the football team, drugging them and like bringing them to this abandoned building. We don't get anything of her going through a window. And what a fucking bitch. So she left her friends because they don't talk to her. We don't get any backstory on that. They just, some people say, oh, did you have fun climbing through the window? And it's like, so did she wake up? Her friends were still there. She saw the window that was open and they just left and didn't say anything and just left her friends there.
But like, it was like a day or two later. I'm like, they couldn't get out of this place. Like, even the kids said something like, wow, finally they showed up. They showed like the kids, the college aged,
the 35-year-olds,
the 35-year-old, 17-year-olds. But they were like, wow, thankfully they showed back up. And I'm like thinking, what was the prank? They were gonna drug them and then leave them there to what? Wake up and then just have to,
I guess, wake up and freak out. And even the girl's clothes, the main girl, her clothes are like all ripped up and she's got like dirt all over her. So
was there potential like rape involved?
They said, they didn't say rape, but they said that they checked her and there was like nothing sexual was done, but they didn't use the word rape.
Yeah.
It's just that the prank makes no sense at all. I mean, it's why aren't these kids in jail? Yeah. The girl works for the newspaper, the high school newspaper. Write an article about it. Talk to another school. I'm sorry, if this is, like you said, I think 2002, maybe
they can't be in the jail because the father is a police officer, right? Like the father was a sheriff of one of the kids.
You got the father was a sheriff, and you got the one dad was running for like mayor.
Well, no, that was the stepdad of
the stepdad, yeah. So he's not going to do anything. And then of course you cannot blame the great Don Shanks for not doing anything. My man crush of Don Shanks, apparently. You cannot blame him because he's the coach. So
yeah, well, he's such a sort of weird character because, like, I guess he was supposed to be the character you think is the is especially because it's Don Shanks. You think, oh man, he's the killer because we just saw I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and he played the was it the fisherman, the dead version of the fisherman. So you're thinking, oh man, this is probably the killer, and it turns out to be the mayor guy or whatever.
Yeah, he's a red herring. Yeah,
he's a red herring. But okay, well, we'll get into that later because I have a really big problem with the ending of the movie. But that's obviously gonna be a bit.
Well, I mean, if we want to go back a little bit further to the beginning, aren't those credits awful?
Yeah,
those credits look like they were done with Windows, like Movie Maker. Those credits were so awful. Like, what? Like, did you guys just not give a shit?
They didn't, obviously, because, like, I hate to say it, but this movie was just pieced together. I feel like I watched some of the making of, and Mary Lambert seemed to like really be happy with doing this. And I'm like, really? Why? This is
He's
just.
like, yeah, I'm happy to be here.
She was making some joke about the fact that she is Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary Lambert, they call her, right? Like, I was like, that's funny. I'm gonna call her that from now on if I ever meet her. I'm gonna be like, what's up, Bloody Mary?
Like, what
But
did you say to me?
yeah, she'll be like, are you making fun of the one movie that, so
Are
anyway,
you making fun of a woman's cycle? Is that what you're doing? Call me Bloody Mary?
no.
Little boy, little man?
Little man, little boy.
Well, and did you look her up on IMDb?
Hmm.
Because she's continued to work, and she goes where all the great directors go when they fail.
TV Land.
Television. Yep. So she's on all these TV episodes. And it isn't just because she did Pet Cemetery 2, I'm guessing, but it's music videos, television. Um, she did direct Siesta, which was really good. That was a good movie, with Ellen Barkin. So I think that was after. So
Oh,
she did direct some good stuff afterwards. But going back to your like bad editing and all that stuff, if you're a music video director and a TV director, this movie should have looked a hell of a lot better.
uh-huh.
I mean, there's no reason for this to look this way.
This is gonna sound really bad, but David Dakota does better editing job than I've ever seen. Like this movie. This movie is terrible.
Good
It,
thing I filled this up with vodka.
we're going there, guys. David Dakota did a better job at, making
Wow.
movies than because look, the acting was decent. Kate Mara did a pretty good job. I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, I
I
forgot
liked
she was in
her.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked her. I didn't like the annoying, creepy boy because I felt their relationship just really threw me off and like made me feel like didn't he like sleep with the girls or something? Like if I'm correct, like he was there, like he was hanging out with them, and then like I don't know. It felt like I don't know. Maybe he didn't, but it looked like he was sleeping with them or something, and then whatever. But then he would have woke up right next to them, so I guess he didn't. Um, I don't
Oh,
know.
you mean like the brother guy?
The brother guy, yeah.
Yeah, I think he just hung out and then left. It's he did check out the one girl's cleavage, and she's like, "Stop."
Yeah. Oh.
So I mean, there was that, but
It has
he
got to be
was
a little weird being in high school and being a twin and being a boy and a girl, because then you have your friends over for like, sleepovers, but they're, you know what I mean? Like it becomes like this kind of weird, like,
just
don't check out my
sister's ugly.
sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless your sister's ugly, then you're probably pretty, but then your ugly sister may have good, pretty friends,
Yeah.
who come
Well,
over.
or she could be hot and you're ugly.
Oh,
The guy could be ugly. Yeah, it could totally go
that's
the other
true.
way. So to make it fair, it could go the other way too. So, but I just don't get how the friends just, because we get the flashback to the dance where the high school guys are drugging the three girls, and obviously they're going to basically date rape them. And Mary runs off. She goes
Okay,
back to the school.
before you say that, so they were gonna date rape them. They gave him a drug inside a drink,
It's a gan. Yeah, yeah. It's a punch. They were
punch.
drinking punch. Yeah.
So they were drinking punch, and then they got like basically roofied. They got Cosby'd. Um, and
Yes,
I'm sorry, but it's not too, it's
that's
not
what he
too early
did.
for that.
It's what he did.
So they were like, oh my God, I'm feeling tipsy. I don't know, whatever. And they were gonna be raped, but the one girl, like I guess she was like there was a blonde girl, and I guess that's the one blonde girl who gets the spiders. That's her mom that gets like sort of doesn't apparently she's, I don't know, she was homecoming queen or something, but she was like the one who said, like, told him, you didn't really think she really wanted to go
yeah,
out
yeah,
with
yeah.
you.
I completely forgot about her. Yeah, yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
she
Because
was
each
like,
one of them is the kids are related to the ones who roofied them. Yeah.
exactly, which I thought that was a little, but we'll get into that.
Well, but that's traditional. I mean, the whole beginning of this reminded me of Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2.
Most of this movie reminded me of Final Destination, including one of the deaths, which I don't know which one came first, Final Destination 3 or this one. So who stole from who? But
Which death?
the tanning bed.
Oh. Well, remember, there's also a tanning bed in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, but
That's
she
true.
doesn't die in it, though.
She
just
doesn't
gets
die
strapped
in
it.
But
Yeah,
she's almost killed. So
yeah.
damn.
I would never go in one of those. Never.
Now I don't want to. These movies have definitely made me like freaked out.
As much as I don't like Trump, when we know how orange he is because he does do the tanning thing, I think if I was one of the guys on staff, I'd be like, no, dude, no, Mr. President, you're not going in there. I've seen Final Destination. I've seen I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I've seen Urban Legends, Bloody Mary. You cannot go in there. You will die. Yep. That's just what happens when you go into one of these beds.
Well, how many shark movies have you watched?
Too many.
So do you tell people do not go into the ocean?
I don't want to go into the ocean. And since they brought it up in Jaws that a lot of people get attacked in 3 feet of water, I go in 2 feet of water, and then that way I don't get attacked.
Oh, you can still get attacked in 2 feet of water, by the way.
Brody said 3.
I don't know. I was at the beach once, and this like little teeny tiny shark, but he still was a shark, swam right by me under like 1 feet of water, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
So if they updated the movie, then it would be like 1 foot of water. So
yep, if they redid that movie, but anyway, I hope they don't.
I guess just tanning beds are easy to come by, and it's just something that you kind of work in, like a gym. Final Destination and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer had the scenes of the people working out when they're getting attacked.
Yep.
So, it's just a lot of this just doesn't make sense, because what happened to the friends in that flashback? Did they end up getting date raped? Because we don't know. The one woman who the African-American woman, the Black woman, she won't talk about it. Mm-mm. So maybe she did, and she's kind of reverted to. I mean, it says that it's supposed to be.
She said she blurred it out. She blurred everything out. She won't even say who the people are or whatever. She said like she blurred.
I think that's for retaliation. That if she says, "Oh yeah, it's these people who did it," that they would come and hurt her.
I don't think that's true, because she knows like Mary is coming after these people. I think she literally doesn't know.
I think she definitely knows. She just doesn't want to say anything, because she's also reverted. She's like stuck in like 1969 because she's all like hippie-ish and everything. So like her mindset. I hated that shit.
That shit annoyed me after a while. Like her saying all the hippie slang and shit and stuff, and I'm just like, really, you're still like, what does she do for a living? Like
lives off the government.
I don't know.
I guess maybe, yeah, because I don't know who would hire her.
Right. She only smokes pot, and
I like her van. It's kind of groovy, kind of.
I like her van, but you don't. Yeah, you see it a little bit, and then
But it's she never really says at all what happened, because I guess like the one girl committed suicide. Right. And then she survived, and then Mary was murdered. And because she wasn't, she was unconscious and then woke up and died inside the Foot Locker, which I don't really know how somebody couldn't hear her. I mean, she could probably go at least a good, maybe if this was a Friday, then because dance is on a Friday, then maybe she would die Monday. She wouldn't have water and food. But
okay, my other question is, why hasn't anybody ever checked that Foot Locker out and found her body?
Well, you would think that's what the police would do is, okay, well, where was the last place she was seen? Oh, the dance. Okay, well, let's comb the school.
Right.
But, unless, the going off of some of these other movies, the teenagers that grow up to be the adults, like they told their dads, and that's who's protecting them. Maybe there was no investigation if the guy went to his dad, who ended up being the sheriff later on, and just said, look, this shit happened.
Remember at the end, close to the end of the movie, Kate Mara's character, Sam, sees a footlocker in her room. She apparently has a footlocker in her room.
Yes.
Or whatever. And so we, as the audience, think, oh shit, that's where the dead body is. But she opens it up and there's nothing there, right?
I did not get that. I got that was a vision. Even though she has a footlocker, she went to open it. But it was just a vision, like she looked and there's a footlocker, and then the vision went over the footlocker. And so the Bloody Mary saying, like, look for a footlocker. And then when she opened it, it just had like papers and stuff in it. Okay. So I don't think that we were supposed to think that there was a body.
I thought that I don't know. I was thinking that. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna find the dead body. And there I was kind of hoping for that, but
they could find a dead body.
But if they found,
or maybe she sees her, right? She has the vision. There's her footlocker. She opens it. There's Bloody Mary in the footlocker. She's like, ah, and then she looks again, and then she's gone.
Yeah, because that happens like how many times in that movie that she sees the, it became like worse than I'll always know what you did last summer with that shit. Because remember, you see like the ghost or whatever of the fisherman like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie, then he disappears, right? And then and then we think that it's still a serial killer or whatever, but it's really the ghost of the fisherman, and stuff. So this was
right,
and that stuff. I don't know. I was okay. So I will tell you this: there was one point I was messaging you, and it seemed like I was really enjoying this. I actually was like putting this high on my list at one point because I was like, oh my God, it's going into like some urban legends.
Hated that, but okay.
You didn't like the urban legends that they did?
How would Bloody Mary know about the urban legends? Why is she using urban legends? How does Bloody Mary even know that she's an urban legend?
Because it's urban legends, Bloody Mary.
Well, they have to once die. Again, the script says so.
They have to die by the way of the urban legends. That's like every single one of the urban legends movies,
But remember, the urban legends stuff were kind of in the other 2 movies were things that people had done. So like you could relate them to the urban legend. So the blonde, the daughter who gets all the spiders coming out of her, how is it, she doesn't really come off as vain or anything. She's attractive, but she doesn't, she's not like a somebody who's constantly looking in a mirror.
Right.
So why does that have anything? What I like are the accidental urban legends. Like we do hear about the guy who got his hand stuck in the vending machine and it fell on top of him. And then you get the main guy who's at the motel and he goes and his hand gets stuck and he almost gets killed by
that was such a Final Destination moment too. Like that's stuff like that, which this was right after Final Destination. Like remember, like the first 2 movies, Urban Legends Final Cut was out the same year as Final Destination, I believe. Like 2000 might have been the same as Final Destination. And then what is it? This one was after that. So they're obviously thinking, okay, we can make it also like a supernatural movie, right? And make it like Final Destination where there's something that can kill it, But what I didn't like, I did like the vending machine scene, but then it didn't kill him. So I was like, okay, so how's Mary gonna kill him now? Right? And then they do the same one as the second movie, which was the dog or the people can lick too bit. And I was like, why are you gonna do that? Like they already did that. They showed us that it was a fake dog. Like it was.
That's a problem. It is the first two films used and talked about so many urban legends
Mm-hmm,
that like the third one had to repeat,
mm-hmm.
because they even bring up the pop rocks.
Yeah, to bring up the pop rocks. So they did. Maybe that was their. Maybe that was the thing. Is they're gonna bring up two ones from the first two. Like I don't know. I don't know what their frame of
See, they,
mind
now,
was.
if you want to repeat, here you go. You eliminate the whole supernatural thing and you make this a slasher movie, just like the other ones, but you make it a killer that's duplicating the murders from the first two movies.
Well, they
So does
also
that,
they tried to like you make you think that too. Even though from the very beginning that this is Bloody Mary killing everybody. This was they try sometimes to make it look like it's another killer that's killing everybody, but it's obviously Mary, Like how else can somebody, do all these things?
well, there's Mary and then there's the dad or the stepdad, and he's wearing the coat.
Right.
So I guess did he murder the brother? Do we see the brother later?
Yeah, he said he murdered him, and then you don't see him later, so I'm guessing he did.
Oh wow, I figured they would have popped back up at the end.
I thought so
I
too,
forgot
but
about that. Yeah, that because I guess he did murder him. I thought maybe the brother was just unconscious.
I
So
was hoping he'd be unconscious and then come back and help. Even though I didn't like him as much or whatever, I didn't want him to die because like I actually we're sitting throughout the whole movie with them, and like it's supposed to be those two that basically
right, and it ends up being the hippie chick.
hippie chick, which
Ends up
pissed
being
me
Foxy Brown.
off because I hated that shit because that was a throwback to the first two movies too.
Well,
With
first two movies and Tarantino and all of that stuff. So yeah.
yeah, did you know this was written by the guy who did Trick or Treat, and he also did Krampus and stuff like that.
Oh no. I mean, I
Michael.
wouldn't doubt it. You got to start somewhere.
Well, no, he started with X-Men.
Oh, did
X-Men
he?
2, X2, you know. But yeah, I think that was like the first one that they did, if not this one, but I'm pretty sure it was him and another writing partner that he worked with. That I don't think they worked on Trick or Treat together and Krampus, but he did that on his own. But the Michael Dougherty worked on this, and I was shocked because you said like you have to start somewhere. I mean, the writing in this movie was just atrocious at times. Like I was just like, ugh.
Well, and it just doesn't. A lot of it doesn't make sense. Doesn't. I mean, it's just it's. I mean, I don't know what a production meeting on this would be like, but they obviously said, okay, well, we want Final Destination. We want Freddy. We want these certain things. We need the urban legends. Make it work. And that was his job, was to make all of this work.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like being handed Halloween 4 or Halloween 6 or one of those movies, and they just say, okay, we fucked up with the last one, fix it, make this one work.
And wait, you're not referencing Halloween 6, are you? Or actually Halloween 7, are you?
I'm referencing Curse of Michael Myers. I'm one of the few people who enjoy Curse of Michael Myers, and I enjoyed both cuts
though?
of the movie.
Oh, okay.
I like both. It depends on what it is. I enjoy both cuts. There are majorly stupid shit in there, like why does nobody hear a baby crying in a bathroom? But there's totally dumb shit in it. But I did enjoy it. I thought it was better than part 5.
Well,
a starring Don Shanks, but none of this just and you know what? I wonder if there's this stuff missing, because Mary bites the hand of the guy that's trying to kill her, right? And we see the imprint. That is never brought up again. Never. So you would think like the killer's reveal would be his hand would come out and there's the bite mark. And then like she would look up and then it's the stepdad. Why would you have her bite? She could bite him and he goes, pulls it away. But why are we getting a shot of the bite if they're not going to use it later?
Just sloppy filmmaking. I literally think that like they were given a certain number of days to make this movie. They were told from the very beginning this is going direct to video. They just did not care as much. They knew that people would buy it or rent it or whatever based solely on the fact that it's an urban legends movie, and that's what they did.
I avoided it. So I'll always know what you did last summer. The box just looked like all the other ones. I never rented it. I saw it when I got that collection. And but I never went like, oh shit, why did they make that? It looks crappy. I'm just like, oh, they made another I Know What You Did Last Summer. This one, when I saw it on the video shelves, it was probably VHS. The box is so friggin' ugly.
Oh, I know. I have
that
the box.
Yeah, that I'm just like, oh, they made a third one, and it kind of looks shitty. I don't want to watch it.
I completely agree. Do I have the box over here? Did I? No, I must have. Shit, where did I put it? Talk to the camera real quick.
So I still don't understand the friends that are with the prank that was left. I don't get that.
No, I don't get that either.
Okay, you got it.
Okay, yep. Here we go. That nasty ass cut. God damn it.
Move it over a little bit, right in front of you. Look at that. That's ugly. I mean, it's a Scream ripoff, or I Know What You Did Last Summer ripoff, but it's just an ugly box.
I mean,
it's an ugly cover.
The problem with it is the coloring, because like the coloring of this is just too. You can barely see the monster. You can barely see blood. You see the heads, and the heads are even dark. Like everything. You got to move it over a little bit. The heads are too dark. It's too shadowy, and this is too dark right here. So you can barely look at this. Like, what is it, like purple-ish color right here? Like it's terrible. Like they literally did no good marketing for this movie.
No, and the other two posters were fine. I mean, they were obviously trying to duplicate it in some way. Like, the first one has like the broken mirror and the cast is in the mirror.
Yeah.
And that looked nice. And then the second one, they're all brightly lit. I think it's red. And then you get the fencing mask in there. So you're going like, oh, okay, these are Scream covers, but they look good.
Right. That's what they should have done. This is Bloody Mary. They should have had the fucking mirror, be the thing, even though it's a ceiling that does it, it should have still had a mirror, like it's ridiculous.
I like when the creepy stepdad goes in and watches them for like 10 seconds, just kind of oogling them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good creeps. We got creepy son checking out his sister's friends. Boobs
and cleavage and shit.
Yeah, and then now we have creepy stepdad checking them out. So nice.
I know. I was glad it didn't go anywhere with that either of that shit. Like.
Well, there's it could have. That's the thing, is that they could have done stuff like the football team. Like, we know what happened to these girls. Like the dad could be like, okay, well, we know the football team did this, but we're one game away from winning it all. We're one game away. So we got to, we can't say anything. Or the stepdad who's running for mayor, could be like, look, if this gets out, I'm not mayor. So we need to, we can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that they could have done that were never brought up.
Right.
And in the film's 90 minutes. I mean, it's not like, no, I take that back. It's like it's like 100 minutes, I believe.
Was it? I think it was only 80 something minutes.
You got the box there. It's at least 90 minutes, I think.
Of course, it's being blocked by some sticker. The one thing I want to see. 93 minutes.
93. So it's 93 minutes. So they could have just had some sort of dilemma with the stepdad. where the stepdaughter is like, well, we're checking this thing out with Mary, and I'm seeing footlockers, and he's just kind of like, oh shit,
Oh.
you know.
Okay, so let's talk real quick about the ending because this bothered the fuck out of me.
Alrighty.
And I want to hear your opinion on this. So the ending of the movie is the son gets killed by the stepfather. He puts that thing over his head.
The plastic, yeah.
Plastic over him. Then the girl goes to get Foxy Brown. I'm gonna call her that from now on. I think it's Grace. Was her name.
It is brought up, so I think that we're allowed to call her that.
So yeah, so he picks her up, or she gets her, convinces her. Takes a lot of fucking convincing. She's like, my brother's got my got my car, and I can't go anywhere, so I need you to go with me. So they go in the car, the van. They go to the school. School's locked. She sees somebody. She freaks out. She goes back to the van. Foxy Brown is like laid out.
Passed out.
Yeah, I guess she's passed out from drugs, whatever.
Too much drugs, yeah.
And so then the killer comes after her. She pushes the girl away, gets into the car, locks it up, drives off, and then the killer gets into another car, I guess, but you never see the killer following, right? The person following.
The killer would have no idea that she's going to Mary's grave. I mean, I guess he knows that she's carrying the body, the bones.
So my big question is, how far is this school to Mary's house? Because she calls the stepfather, right? Once she gets to the place or whatever, she calls him, and like pretty quickly, it's like right when she gets there, she calls him and he answers. So I was like thinking, oh, it must not be him, right? As the killer, because there's no way the killer could have gone back to the house or even would have even gone back to the house. Like, why did the killer go back there? Why didn't the killer just follow, her? Like, it made no sense.
Well, I guess, he had to kill the stepson because the stepson.
No, stepson's already dead.
He's right. So, but he found the picture in the yearbook. So he had to die. And then when, I don't know why Foxy Brown had to go, Grace or whatever her name is, had to go with them, but somehow I guess he knew where she would be at, because when she calls him, he's like, I can't hear you.
Yeah,
like they kept dropping out from one another, but I think that she said enough. Like I think she
like
did
she
say
said
graveyard.
Cemetery. Yeah, she said cemetery.
Yeah. So he would, I guess he knows that she's taking the body to the grave.
But how does she know? He knows she has, like, how does he know what grave to go to? There's just so many fucking unanswered
I guess
questions.
If you have her body, you're probably going to go to her grave if you're hearing cemetery.
Maybe, but how does he know she has her body? Like,
well, because he tried attacking her. Remember, he was chasing, he was roaming around the school, and then she found the body, took it out of the trunk, and the killer, saw the trunk was empty.
Oh, okay.
And then he chases her out of the school, hits on the window. She's like, oh my God. And then she drives away. Grace is passed out, being useless. Yep. And that's when she's driving. And then she calls the stepdad, because I guess the brother isn't picking up or something. And it's so weird that he's dead. I mean, you would think that he would not be dead in this, that Grace would be dead. That's the way I would have taken it. I mean, I guess my expectations of this were a little different, because they killed the son, which I would have never thought of. I would have had him kill Grace, oh, now it's a second one dead.
Right.
Or now a third one dead because the other one committed suicide. And then maybe we find out she didn't commit suicide, that the sheriff actually did it, like pointed the gun at her or something.
Why
like
would the
that.
sheriff do it? You mean the mayor would have done it? Because
Well, do you think that the mayor told everybody? Like, do you think all of them
we don't know
knew?
this stuff, which this is exposition that should have been explained in the movie.
I mean, they did date rape, allegedly.
Or
I mean,
I don't know if they did or not.
we don't
never see
but
that.
yeah, I mean,
And she won't talk about it, so we don't know. It's up in the air. It could have happened. It might have been like, actually, I would think that it would happen that way because the guy comes in. I don't know if it's the coach, or whoever is one of the guys. I call them. I call all those like jock guys the girl next door guys. There's these like three guys that just look very faceless to me, that are in the movie Girl Next Door. The one with Emil Hirsch and I'm
Jack Bauer's daughter.
Yes, exactly. So I love both of them. I love that movie. But the jocks in that movie look so stereotypical jock like that they look. I looked at this movie going, all the jocks look like this. What the hell, man? It annoys me. Because jocks in my school never looked anything like that. Like the pretty boy character. Whatever.
Oh, mine did. Mine did. Oh yeah, you definitely knew the football players. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay. Mine didn't. I guess I don't know. Anyway, so I was watching it going. So they leave after he goes, I couldn't find her. I guess she got out or whatever. But that's okay. And they kind of like walk out, right? And well, she'll show up is something like that line, and then they leave. And they're leaving her in the trunk, which one guy doesn't know, the other guy does. Makes me wonder, did they talk about it? Because that would be, I know what you did last summer type moment where they would go, okay, this is a pact. We can't talk about the fact that she's.
I'm going to guess not. I'm going to say that once, because the guy thinks she's dead. So probably when they go downstairs and they got the girls passed out in the car, I would probably think he'd be like, get him out of the car. Get him out of the car. Just leave him on the ground. Get him out of the car. Like go put him on the bench or something.
Right.
Because then, I mean, that's horrible. Like really horrible. If, this guy murders or thinks he's murdered somebody and then he goes and date rapes two other girls.
You're supposed to sort of like him, even though he's creepy. You're supposed to still sort of like him in the beginning because you're not supposed to suspect that he was the one from the beginning of the movie, or whatever. But there's like, I don't know.
His death is way too nice. Way too nice.
At the end? Yeah,
way too nice.
Where Bloody Mary just like sucks him in or whatever, and
just a visual effect. I mean, he needed to have arms torn off, and he needed to
his dick ripped off, and
yeah, they needed something a lot more violent. Like maybe let's say if Bloody Mary went after the like the other guys, the coach and the sheriff or whatever, maybe not as bad because we find out later on that they just dumped the girls off by a road.
Right.
They didn't do anything. But since he did murder somebody, technically, his death should be horrible. And he did. He murdered the son. And he was trying to murder the stepdaughter.
And he was gonna murder Foxy Brown. Anybody who was basically, and you know what? You're right. Like you said earlier that he should have said something because it would have been a scandal for his mayor stuff if he got caught with this, with any kind of information like this. But the thing is, so say they found her bones, right? And everything. There's no proof that he had anything to do with it, like that he locked her in the trunk.
No, which is why we needed to know if his friends at that age knew, like if this was being covered up or
right.
not.
Because if he never told anybody, then he literally wouldn't have to. And I guarantee you didn't say anything because the other guy's a cop, right? The sheriff or whatever. Like, there's no way the cop would have just let that go for years, and stuff.
I mean, unless he's a corrupt cop, he's being paid off. Did he
seem corrupt? I mean, he did have
no, because this is where bad writing comes in, because you're thinking 1969 is when this happens. Camera technology is not how it is today. So is he on camera at all at the school chasing Mary around? Are the guys seen, with the girls try to stick them in the back of the car?
Right.
Okay, let's say there are no cameras, or they're in an area where there are no cameras. So even if they found her body, which should be stinking, and it never does.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, that looks disgusting, and she is not like giving any kind of like.
And when he leaves, there's nothing on top of the trunk. So when the stepdaughter finds something, there's something on top of the trunk, which means somebody walked up to the trunk, put something on it, and left, and didn't smell anything.
Didn't smell anything, didn't open it, didn't do anything. Like, there's just terrible writing on that. Like I said,
I love Foot Lockers. I have 3 of them. If I found just a Foot Locker upstairs, I'd be like, oh, fuck that. I'm taking this.
Right. Like, why hasn't anybody come down and said, what is this Foot Locker still doing here after this many, like this time? Let's,
Yeah, they don't clean out anything. Like they're like, okay, it's been 20 years. Let's do some spring cleaning, and we'll clean out that area upstairs, and maybe we can use it for something. Or it's the very basics of what the producers wanted, and the writer gave it to them, and Mary Lambert finished it. So they got what they wanted, but there's just really no effort, because even the urban legends, I think, are weak.
What was the first urban legend? Like, the first guy that died before the girl died with the stuff. I'm trying to remember, because I remember.
Well, tanning bed, spiders.
Okay. Tanning bed was the first one. Okay.
And then the Ryan Felipe character.
Okay, so that also bothered
bed.
That also bothered me. That they literally thought that one of the guys killed the dude in the tanning bed. Like, that was really just, I mean, who the fuck, like,
I know people, they make up stupid stuff all the time about things, and
I know, but that's just terrible.
Well, and there's a big mistake with that tanning bed room. So, and I went back and rewatched it, which is, so when the woman leaves, that's hitting on the guy that goes into the tanning room, he goes, turn it up a little bit. She leaves, so she puts it on 2. So as he's getting, like, all the heat and stuff is like slowly catching him on fire and stuff, we see it go like 5, 8, 10, 12. And then the girl's like, oh shit, when she hears him yelling, she runs to the door, and in camera view is that temperature gauge, and it says 10.
So it was down from 12 to 10?
To 10. So was Mary like, oh shit, that's too much. 12 is too much. Let me bring it down a couple degrees.
What? That's what the writers would say. Oh no, that's what we were going for.
That's just bad continuity. I mean, you put a note on there that says, we'll post it, do not touch this.
Do not touch
so nobody moves it around.
This is okay. So I told you at first I was enjoying the stuff, because I was like, okay, we're getting back to the urban legends, like, right, and everything. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then the dude pisses on the electric fence and whatnot, which I thought was really fucking weird. Like, who the fuck thinks they're about to run over a girl, then gets out and goes, I'm just gonna take a leak.
Well, and is that an urban legend? Pissing
on the urban legend is, if you pee on an electric fence, you would get shot.
Okay. All right. So that's one. The spider one, that's one. The tanning bed is one.
Tanning bed is sort of an urban legend of like that you're going to get that don't go into a tanning bed, you'll get roasted. That's the
Okay.
that's
What about the original one with Bloody Mary with being put into the footlocker? Is that an urban legend?
that's not an urban legend. The urban legend of Bloody Mary is bloody. You say Bloody Mary 3 times into a mirror, Bloody Mary is supposed to come out, but the way that they did in this is weird. I mean, like you're right. It's all I don't know if this was just like I don't know what this was. Like I don't know what the point was of them saying it up, up to the ceiling and it worked. Like maybe because they set it into the ceiling and not the mirror that we got a different Bloody Mary. We didn't get the Mary Worth who's, she still haunts mirrors, I guess. Sometimes you can see her in the mirror. But that wasn't like, that's not her main thing. You see her all over the place in this movie. She pops up and,
Oh yeah, she pops up in the cemetery. I mean,
pops
she
up in the
just pops
cemetery.
up everywhere. Well,
Yeah.
and then so to continue with the urban legend, so then the guy gets the dog, humans lick too.
Hmm.
Poor dog. And
Yep.
and then she pulls him under the bed.
Right.
So okay, so what came after that? Anything?
I'm trying to think. I mean,
Was that the last person to get killed
I think
by
it
an urban legend?
was, yeah, by an urban legend, yeah. Because the only other death was the other than the mayor dying or whatever, was the mayor killing the son with the thing, but that's not an urban legend, I don't believe.
No, because I guess it would only be Bloody Mary doing the urban legends. It wouldn't be.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be
he wasn't
him.
actually killing people with urban legend, but you're sort of led to believe it could be somebody, which is what Mary Lambert says in the making of, and I got so fucking pissed because after watching it, I was like, no, through the whole time, it's Mary. Like this is
The
not
name, yeah, the name of the film is Bloody Mary. So yeah, so
right. You're supposed to think it's Bloody Mary. So maybe at one point that was the idea while they were making it, was like maybe that they were trying to fool you into thinking it could be somebody else doing it. Um, but if that's the case, they did a terrible job because the whole time you know,
well, and I don't mind having the two killers. So if you want to have the stepdad mayor who's going around killing people who knows about Bloody Mary or just Mary, and then you have Mary going around killing the people, like the kids of those people, I'm down with that. Just do it well, because that could confuse the cops. It's just like, well, wait, but this doesn't make sense. This person was suffocated and this person was killed in a tanning bed. Wait, these are weird. They don't even match.
well, did you notice, like, okay, so the cops are useless in this fucking movie, by the way. Like, cops are just fucking useless. There's that one point where where Samantha finds the girl, which it was so weird. I was like, where the fuck is she? She's like running to the girl's house. She has to climb over a fence. I'm like, where the fuck is this house? Like, this is just
It's
the
across the
weird.
street.
I thought so, but like it seemed like it was further away or something because like she has to climb over a fence, she has to do all these things just to get to the screaming person. And is she the only one who can hear the girl screaming, and everything? Like,
Well, and where are the parents? So I
yeah,
guess the parents left early, like both have to go to work, and they're like, okay, here's $10, go to school.
yeah, or something. I don't know. So she goes and finds the girl dead in the house. Later after that, obviously it's a bunch of spiders. Like she sees the spiders. I'm guessing the cops are going to see the spiders.
No,
Like
she says that
it's
the cops didn't believe her. The cops couldn't find spiders.
Oh, I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. She says the cops wouldn't believe me about the spiders, but yet she has this giant hole in her friggin' face.
I guess you can make that yourself if you wanted to. I don't
Well,
know.
because remember, her boyfriend, the Ryan Felipe guy, said that she took the theory was she took acid and then just pulled her face apart. So yeah, so it isn't just a hole that they find her entire face pulled apart.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why they were blaming that the brother, because they're just like, I know who did this. I know who did this. The now this is me saying it. It's not them, but it's like, he locked him into the tanning bed. He slipped her acid. Like he's thinking in his head all these things about the brother, which we don't see.
Right.
But I think that's why he's blaming the brother. Is it's possible that he could go to the tanning place and sneak in and turn it up to 11, as they say in Spinal Tap. But and it's possible, I guess, that he could go into the girl's house and slip acid. But he does say acid. He goes, why would she take acid and rip her face apart? An autopsy would prove that wrong. And an autopsy would probably find some sort of spider in there too. Like maybe way up here, there'd be like a dead spider.
So the spider urban legend though, right?
Yeah.
That like a spider crawls in I thought it was in your ear or something, and then lays eggs, and then all these other spiders come out, right?
Yeah, I've heard ear, nose. Yeah.
So yeah, I've heard ear because that was actually one of my favorite urban legends was you go to the beach, you lay down, and a sand spider crawls in your ear and then lays eggs. And then
sand spider, there's a movie.
I know. I'm surprised it hasn't been made yet. But they say so a doctor comes out and says, I've got some good news and some bad news. Good news is we've got the spider out. Bad news is a female and she laid eggs. And yeah, you're supposed to get and me, I am arachnophobic. I'm not gonna lie. I do not like spiders. I remember being in LA, and I was on a bench talking to a friend of mine on the phone, Sarah, who's part of this Horror Film Lovers. I was on the phone with her, sitting on a bench, and one of the guys in the complex walks up to me, a good dude that I became friends with there, was like, hey, I wouldn't sit on that if I were you. A lot of brown widows were nesting there. And I was like, what? And I got up and I ran into the house and threw all my clothes into the hamper and threw, and then got washed and and everything.
Throw your clothes that could have brown spiders in them into other clothes.
And then I
just burned them with a flamethrower.
I washed them all. So if they were there, they got fucking washed. And I don't know, whatever. I was scared to death of.
My only thing is, and this is a real thing because a friend of mine had it and it was painful. You have to actually flush it out. And they put it into a couple movies, including that Broke Down Palace, is the cockroach in the ear. Is that cockroaches will go into your ear at night, not laying eggs or anything or whatever it is, but it's warm, and they'll go into your ear and settle in there, and and as I'm sure it's unpleasant, and they have to go and take a liquid, and basically it dissolves the cockroach. Gross. And being out here in Vegas, it's frigging cockroach heaven. I actually saw a mother cockroach, no joke. It was that big because it was all babies.
Saw one recently too, so don't tell me this shit. I don't fucking want nightmares of like fucking cockroaches in my ear.
Well, there's one for Urban Legends 4.
I want, I'll let's write Urban Legends 4 and sell it to Sony, man. Fuck it, dude. There's
got to be more urban legends out there. Can't just
there's a million urban legends out there, by the way. But yeah, I would fucking love that shit because, they never really explored some of the ones I really want to do,
Well, and they just throw away other ones.
Yeah, they talked about them, but they never showed them,
Yeah, or just repeated. So, and something else that kind of annoyed me with the ending is normally you would have to, dig up, open the coffin, and then put the skeleton into it, right? To now she's at rest type of thing. Mm-hmm. But they were just walking and falling all over the skeleton.
Right.
Like it went down maybe like a foot. And then they were just
Right.
like bashing the skeleton, kind of throwing it around, stepping on it as they're wrestling, And I'm just like, well, that's that. How is that going to help? That's not going to. If anything, that would probably cause some sort of stress to the skeleton or spirit, some anxiety.
When did this come out? Fuck. What year did this come out? I because 19 no not 19 it was 2005 was when Supernatural came out, right? TV show Supernatural. Have you seen that show?
Uh,
Did you?
yeah, once or twice. Not my thing.
It's not your thing, but I loved it. It was one of my favorite shows. Still is one of my favorite shows. God damn, when is this out?
I got it right.
2005. 2005. So
Okay.
2005, this movie comes out. Same year
See,
as Supernatural.
I'm sorry, you're saying that the film is 93 minutes. It says 137 here. That's where I got my time from.
Okay. IMDb?
No, it's just Googling.
Okay.
This says right here. So one of these is wrong.
Probably not the box that says 93 minutes on it. Because I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. But maybe it's lying to you and saying 93 minutes, actually 97 minutes. Whatever.
No, I think it is 93. But I think I got the my time from that. Because
right.
I do remember it was like an hour and 14 minutes. And I'm like, oh, thank God there's only like 15 minutes left. So yeah, I remember saying that out loud to my cat.
And your cat's like, I agree.
Yeah, dude, why are we watching this?
Why? Come on, man. Isn't there anything better on? But honestly, was this this isn't like the worst supernatural type horror film I've ever seen. It's just sort of a mediocre, boring sort of movie that like Paul would hate, because he can't make fun of it for being bad because it's got a lot of money that they put into it. But he can make fun of it for being bad because it's just sloppy. It's just like sloppily written, sloppily directed, sloppily edited. The camera work was okay, nothing to write home about. The acting was good. There was no characters that I didn't believe, except for the 37-year-old, 17-year-olds. Yeah. But that was not acting wise. That was I just casting. Don't believe these jocks who just they hang out in the locker room and just talk about the shit. I'm gonna go to Tanny, but you're gonna go because you gotta see that woman with big tits. Oh yeah, it's just crap. I don't care about it. I didn't like any of that shit. I didn't find anybody, even Kate Mara, who I thought did an okay job. Like she did a good job for what she asked, but I didn't find her character interesting at all. And literally, if she had died, I would have been like, okay, that happened.
I didn't care about any of them. Not at all. I did think Bloody Mary was hot. But that was, even when she was all bashed up, I thought that she was hot. So the only time when I ever thought that a teenager was appropriate at being overaged for a teenager is Forrest Whitaker in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, because he was meant to be like gigantic. So when they play the football game against the school that, everybody thinks they destroyed his car, everybody's terrified of him because he's supposed to be huge. Like he's like the guy, that's the only time I actually thought it was funny and accepted it. It was like, okay, I can believe this guy's the quarterback. I can believe that this guy's, going to destroy people because he's massive.
But then you look at fucking, but then again, you look at what's her name, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she was like 26 or something when she acted that movie, and she looked like she was fucking 16.
Yeah, she looked very young. Yeah.
And it kind of creeps me out when I look at that.
Oh, because, not me.
I know you like the scene. You
Oh,
know,
Jennifer Jason Leigh and Phoebe Cates. I
uh,
mean, you just Phoebe Cates was every guy's dream. Many
they
men went into manhood because of that swimming pool scene. Like,
one of my favorite bands is called Phoenix, Texas. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
nope.
Phoenix spelled with an F. It's Phoenix, Texas, and they made a
You
song.
should probably tell them that it's spelled with a P.
I think they know, but I
Oh,
think
okay.
Phoenix,
Just in
Texas,
case.
it might actually be spelled with an F. But they did a song called Phoebe Cates, you know, and at one like it's literally about Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
It is one of the greatest scenes in film history. It's a great movie, on top of that, but and everybody and his brother is in that thing. So
Yeah, like the chorus is like, all I really need is someone like Phoebe, someone to excite my fantasy. And every night I'll dream that she's here with me and I'll be the only one here. And I'm looking for a fast time, you know. And then, does all these different, So like, but I adore that movie. I adore Phoebe. I adore Jennifer Jason Leigh. Even though they were older and playing high school,
I
uh,
thought that they were getting way off track here, but I thought that they kind of looked age
when do we
appropriate.
not get off track for any of our stuff? So it's so good. It happens.
Well, which is why one of us has to say it so then we could get back on track. So,
Oh, okay. You want to get back on track. After like this movie, man, I wanted to watch something else, and I watched something else, and I was like, damn, I need to watch something else after watching that other thing. I've been watching just
well, it's
things.
almost like if you watch one bad movie, you have to watch like two good movies to kind of remove it from
That's
like,
not what I did, unfortunately.
yeah.
Sometimes you just got to keep going down that rabbit hole. Sadly.
Ugh. So yeah, I'm going to agree with you that it's not the worst film ever. I do like Always Know What You Did Last Summer better. I thought that the story was better. I thought the directing was better. The location was better. I thought that they actually looked like they were trying to make a good movie. Like the third film, knowing that it's direct to video, they're like, well, shit, but let's make the best movie we can.
I don't think they did,
I
honestly.
think
Like,
on I do.
I
I think
disagree.
so.
I think
On
at times they just it almost seemed lazy. Like they just did not give a fuck. That's how I
Always Know What
viewed
You Did
it.
Last Summer.
I'll always know what you did last summer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saying
I
that
thought you were
in
talking about
comparison,
this.
no, in
Okay.
comparison to this, which is also part three, that I think that I think Mary Lambert was probably looking for work, and they basically just said, we're going to make in 14 days. You got 3 days to write the script. Give me a spooky ghost lady, use urban
Right.
legends, throw in some high school students, and that's what we got. So and it's exactly what they wanted. The producers being the people are
Right.
what they wanted.
Let me
So
see, let me see if I can find. 'Cause I did not look this up. I should have before because research. Should have looked up any like info or whatever because I want to know if it says something in the trivia about the fact that like how quickly this movie was made. Jesus, there's no trivia for this movie.
I'm going to say 14 days.
Is there any there's no trivia for this movie. Oh yes, there is. Rooney Mara's film debut. Rooney Mara apparently was a high school student and somewhere in the background. What the fuck? Yeah, I don't think yeah, and in 2007, Sony sold the filming rights, and a fourth installment was planned, called Urban Legends Goldfield Murders. However, after being impressed by the DVD sales of Urban Legends Bloody Mary, Sony bought the rights back to the franchise. The film was later released under the title Ghosts of Goldfield. I actually reviewed that last year.
I know. Yeah, I know that film. Yeah.
If you reviewed that last year, with who did I review that with? I want to say it was Sarah. Yeah, I think it was Sarah Atkins. We reviewed that film for 31 Days of Indie Horror. And it was so funny because I was actually friends with the actress who worked on that movie. And yeah, I think she did tell me that it was supposed to be that movie, but it was such a clusterfuck at that time. Like they had to change everything around so that I guess it didn't fit urban legends, and that movie kind of fell off the wayside, you know. So kind of sucks, but yeah, wow. So at least they brought the rights back, but then they didn't do anything with it.
No, no.
So they just have it as rights. I guess they could do something. They're too busy with Spider-Man and Ghostbusters and
I mean,
fucking.
the new Scream didn't launch anything. With as much money as it made, you would think that they would be relaunching things you know, like another movie of I Know What You Did Last Summer, or
Wait,
another urban legend, or
that was Paramount though. Paramount made the new Scream.
no, I'm just saying the popularity of the new Scream with
Oh,
how much money it made, it did not reignite anything. It not unlike the
not yet.
original Scream, which
Not,
the original Scream, it was instant. I mean, it within like that year, there were all of a sudden Scream ripoffs
well,
or
there's
revivals were coming up, and we're already, we're not seeing that with the new Scream.
we're not seeing that with anything. Like with the new Halloween, we didn't see that. Well, no, take that back. With the new Halloween, we ended up getting a new Scream because of the new Halloween. But it took like 3 years or something, 4 years to make that happen, you know? So maybe we'll take a little bit of time before they'll reignite this movie, franchise. But they're trying a new Final Destination. They did a new Wrong Turn, it's probably eventually gonna happen that they're like, well, what other property do we have? Urban Legend. Let's just
I
make
mean,
it.
Final Destination, they could keep going as long as they have good, death scenes. And then the Wrong Turn, I thought that kind of sucked if you compare it to the other Wrong Turns,
Well,
but
it made
as a
no
film by
sense.
itself,
Made no
it
sense.
was
It
okay.
it was it was
I guess.
Midsummer Turn. That's what I call it. It's like the fucking same idea as Midsummer, like a bunch of people at a, you know, colony, that are murdering people. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Well, they'll figure out their mistake with that and then just go back to the hillbillies. I mean, we'll find out that they're now making another Wrong Turn. So then we'll have Wrong Turn original, Wrong Turn kind of remake The Fountain, and then we'll have Wrong Turn the third remake where
right.
we go
Which
back
will
to the
just
hillbillies.
call it different. What we did with with Halloween 2007, which was sometimes called Rob Zombie's Halloween, and then there's the other Halloween, which is 2018 Halloween.
I mean, I get Rob Zombie. I mean, that's a remake, but I don't think that the sequel should have been called that, especially if the
It's
sequels to Halloween are kills and ends. You should
what
probably have it as returns and then
what have
kills
we
and ends.
talked about? It's a requel. It's requels. Requels are hits right now. Taking making a sequel out of something that should have been a remake. Basically remaking a sequel. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't
It's
know. I still think the best one out of all of these is Candyman. To me,
um.
Candyman was
I need
pretty
to
damn
rewatch
perfect.
Candyman again because when I watched it in the theater, I got bored.
I
Um.
loved it.
I know. I
I
know you
think it's
did.
actually the best one out of all of them. I think it's better than the first one.
Mm, that's that's some hardcore talk right there,
It's
buddy.
true.
I no, I was not bored
It's
by
it's
the
true because the first Candyman was kind of like the first Hellraiser, where like Hellraiser's Pinhead's barely seen
right,
until the very end, and then all of a sudden he's all over the place. In the sequel, Candyman is kind of the same way. Is that he's not Candyman yet until the sequel. He is throughout the movie, but he's not the figure yet. I mean, it's mostly Virginia Madison or
right.
Madsen.
Madsen.
So yeah, so which is why I liked in the remake is Candyman is right there. I mean, he's very well. The guy becomes Candyman,
I
but
get it. I get it. I get it.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna do the rating. You know, for it. So let's go over that, I guess.
Okay.
I the ratings of what 5-star scale, and I guess my one I did for the last one, I believe was it 2.5? I think 2.5 for Bloody Mary, or not Bloody Mary, Urban Legends Final Cut. So I want to say that it was either 2.5 or 3.
Okay.
So this I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
Oh shit! Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty.
Well, how would you put them in order? Would you just say the best one is the first one, then the second best is the second one, and then the third best is the
Which
third?
I really wanted the third one to be better than the second, just because I was sort of disappointed by the second one more than I thought I would be. You even warned me like these movies aren't, the sequels aren't as good as the first, right, or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of view it like that. It kind of goes down, just like I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, so there you go. I wasn't a big fan of the third one as much as I wanted to be. I was really rooting for it, and then it just had too many like issues. So
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong. If you remember, I think I gave the first Urban Legend 3.
something like that.
Yeah. Then I think I gave 2 Final Cut. I think I gave 2.5.
Maybe, yeah.
This one, I'm going to give like 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah, 1.5.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I would have probably gone lower, but there were nice things in it. Like some of the scenes didn't really annoy me enough where I enjoyed the characters enough that I wanted to see what was going to happen, just all in all, like, yeah, it just wasn't well done,
I mean, I really think that it's really Hello Mary Lou Prom Night too. That
Okay.
it's and that at least the star of that is Michael Ironside. So if you're going to do something like this, then maybe make one of the adults like a known actor. Even if you want to make Don Shanks, change him from the coach to the mayor,
right?
Do that type of thing. Give somebody a bigger name, and that's kind of one of the problems I have with this is that you're not
even
watching
Kate
it.
Mara was not a name at that time. She wasn't a big,
no.
Nobody in this movie was a name.
I completely forgot that she was in it. I'm like, oh look, there's Sue Storm.
Totally forgot she was in the newest Fantastic Four until this next one comes out.
Yeah, so yeah, I would probably say 3, 2.5, 1.5. I'll say that.
That's fair. I mean, that's pretty much the same thing as I'm giving. I don't remember what I gave Urban Legends. I gotta re-look at all these, and I gotta start writing them all down. Just fuck it. Just write down all the scores, out, so we'll know what we did by the end of the year. Jesus Christ, we've been doing this every week so far, pretty much, and I'm shocked, a little bit, because I honestly didn't know where this was going to go, if we were going to keep doing this every week, or if we were going to get bored and be like, nah, never mind, we're done. But we're on a roll, man. We've got things lined up until,
there's plans,
including we'll let everybody know what our next one is. That's going to be Valentine, which I'm kind of sad that we didn't do that during Valentine's Day.
Oh, that would have made sense.
Would have made sense, but
and I did watch that on Valentine's Day, so I may not even have to watch it again for our review.
Maybe. I haven't seen it in forever, so I definitely need to rewatch it.
I'm just looking forward to what we're going to review after that. I don't think we should say anything yet, but I'm looking forward to the next 3 after that.
The next trilogy after that.
Yeah, that I'm excited with.
I am too. I'm excited I just bought them, so I'm excited for that too. I'm excited for pretty much all the stuff we're doing,
Well, it will end after. So we got Valentine, and then we have which I forget exactly why we were doing. Jamie Blanks. That's right, because of Urban Legend. And then the 3 that we're going to do after that, without saying anything, is that there is a Wes Craven connection. So we
And
are still
yeah,
continuing with that
right.
until we finish the 3rd film. And then I think we're completely out of, from what you showed me, completely out of the
Kevin Williamson,
Kevin
yeah,
Williamson zone.
Wes Craven zone,
Yeah.
which I guess like Urban Legend is sort of, tied in with the Kevin Williamson kind of stuff, so that it
Well, yeah,
works.
if it wasn't for Scream, we wouldn't have Urban Legend. And without Urban Legend, we probably wouldn't have Valentine because of
Jamie
Jamie Blanks.
Blanks, yeah.
So
There you
it
go.
works. It works.
It works. There's a lot of this stuff. So I mean, but I'm excited. There's a lot of this Mainstream Monday has been pretty good so far. I'm liking what we're doing, and also understand that I'm still doing your first time watch Fridays. Those are coming out, and those are going to be weekly. So get ready for more of that. And then what is it? After that, or also we're doing the podcast for horror film lovers. So things are still happening in this world. So awesome. Well, thank you, John. Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, thank you.
All this. This is.
Thank you for allowing me to be in your world.
You're always welcome in my world. But thank you all for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Check us out next week where we do Valentine. So that should be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Until then, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Bye.